What's going on, my homie fam dogs, home slice, fam slice, whatever I'm gonna call you guys. And today, it may be the same day as I'm dropping the Kevin Love build. I'm not sure. I'm making this at like 5 minutes afterwards, just so you can have a scale of time. But this may drop the day of, this may drop the day after, it may drop a week later. Who knows? Ooh. Anyways, we're here with an Elgin Baylor build. I told you, we are just in this weird niche of just creating builds that probably have no right to be being made by a person who's in their 20s in 2024. I'm a young man in reality. I'm an old head at heart, but I love the legends. So let's get into it. Enough talking. Right-handed jersey number 22, Elgin Baylor wore 22. He was a small forward, 6'5", weird, I know. Probably a little undersized even for today's standard, but hey, Josh Hart exists. 225 was his actual weight. I do actually remember that, with a 7'1" wingspan. So to start off this build, we're gonna get off with an 87 close shot. Yes, an 87. That'll give you float game on gold. I do know that'll give you hook specialist on gold as well, and silver paint prodigy. As far as driving layup go, Elgin Baylor. I mean, we're talking about a guy who played in the 60s. Of course he had a high driving layup. How else were you gonna score? 3-point shots? Please. He has an 85 driving layup. That'll give you layup mix master on silver, a couple other things once we get down there. As far as driving dunk goes, now here's one thing that 2K has really upgraded on Elgin Baylor, is his driving dunk. I don't exactly know myself personally. He's well before my time. Like 60 70 something years before my time. I don't know what his game was, but I don't know if he had an 87 driving dunk type of game, but the 2K says so. So that'll give you a probably silver posterizer once we get down to the physicals, and gold or Hall of Fame aerial wizard. If I had to guess, probably gold off the top of my head. For standing dunk, we're gonna go with a 45 here. That'll give you basic standing dunk packages. You'll be able to standing dunk on this build. And for post control, it's Elgin Baylor. We put the post control at an 87. It sounds crazy. It is crazy. We're not like everyone else. I'm so different. I love it. But that'll give you post up poet on gold. Elgin Baylor, I mean, he's a 60s player. That played like this forward position. I mean, he was putting up mad points, but I mean, you know what they specialize in: close shots, driving layups, I mean post control, I mean anything close to the basket really. For mid-range shot, we're gonna have his mid-range all the way up at an 85. There was no 3-point line, so his 3-point won't be nearly as high. You can change that if you please, but to stay consistent and accurate with Elgin Baylor as far as 2K ratings go, and as he was as a player, we have the 85 mid-range. He was more of a finisher than a shooter from what I've seen and what I know, but that'll give you gold post fade phenom, so that's nice, and silver deadeye and set touch specialist. For 3-pointer, this is probably what people aren't gonna like. You're a 6'5" small forward, but we're only gonna have a 76.3. Sounds crazy. Probably is crazy. It is what it is. Like I said, we're staying true to who Elgin Baylor was as a player. 76.3 though, you'll still be able to knock down threes. You're not gonna be able to knock down threes. When the game came out a couple days ago, I was actually in shoot around with like Zeke Nnaji or whatever on the Denver Nuggets with like a 60-something 3-point shot using rhythm shooting, greening from like 28 feet out. It was bizarre. You can hit with a 76 3 ball, especially if you use rhythm shooting. You can hit with that. I personally don't use rhythm shooting all that often, but I do try to use it occasionally. But enough of that. 78 pass accuracy. Yeah, no, that man was a scorer. Not much of a scorer. I mean, wait, what? He could score. Wait, what am I saying? You know what? Stick to Borderlands, Elisha. Jeez Louise. Anyway, speed with ball. We're gonna bring this all the way up to a 75. This will give you silver lightning launch. Yeah. He wasn't an insane ball handler or anything like that. He wasn't any, like, what's a good ball handler from that era? Bob Cousy? Sounds insane, but he was a pretty good ball handler from what I know for that era. But he's no Bob Cousy. He's Elgin Baylor. The defense here is going to be pretty interesting though, because he played in such an era. So you're going to have to defend a lot more. His defense is where it gets pretty interesting though. My personal opinion, it's what I like about the build personally, is the versatility of him though. Of it all. For interior defense, we're going all the way up to a 69. Nice. Not much to say else other than that, to be honest. I can't lie. For perimeter defense, we're going all the way up to an 85. That'll give on-ball menace eventually on silver. Silver challenger. gold off-ball pass. I do believe we're going to get a movable enforcer and pick dodger as well. So that's nice to have. Steel, we're going to put that up at 67. I forget what 2K has its steel rating at. Probably higher than this. However, as far as the game goes, I'm not sure if you need higher than a 67 steel. Plus, we need to put attribute points elsewhere just to fill out the build to make it closer representation of Elgin Baylor. So I just went ahead and put in a 67 steel. Now for block, we go all the way up to a 68 block. Once again, I think 2K has it lower. However, we had some extra attribute points. Plus his block wasn't too far off. Might as well give him that 68 block for that bronze high flying denier. Trust me, we're still staying true here. Just, we have some wiggle room, of course. You can mess around with this a little bit. Now here's dang. Now here's where we get a little Josh Hardy, I guess. That's an interesting way of putting it. We're gonna have an 80 defensive rebound. This will give you silver rebound chaser, maybe silver box up beast, I believe, and bronze pogo stick. We'll check back on it. And he's also going to have a 70 offensive rebound. So you're going to be able to get boards. You are small, however, you will be able to get boards. For as far as speed and agility go, the physicals are nice. We're going to put both at an 80, give you slippery off ball. There's your on ball menace, pick dodger, shifty shooter, and whatnot. For strength, we're actually going just about max it out. You can max it out probably with a cap breaker, I would say here. One thing I forgot to mention, I don't necessarily make these builds with cap breakers in mind. However, can use them where you would want to, or you can, you don't have to follow this build for build. You could adjust some things for cap breakers like I haven't, but even still, like I said, you could cap breaker this strength to an 85 to get that golden movable enforcer, but we're gonna have 84 strength. That'll give you Hall of Fame strong handle, which is kind of crazy. Silver physical finisher, silver box up beast, brick wall, movable enforcer, post power hose. As far as vertical go, we're actually going to go all the way up to an 80, and that's going to finish off the build. Give you that silver posterizer, that gold aerial wizard, and bronze pogo stick. So yeah, that's going to go ahead and finish off the Elgin Baylor build. Looking through here, it's a very well-rounded build. The defense is actually pretty nice. The rebounding's interesting, especially from a 6'5" small forward. The best parts of the build, however, is definitely finishing and the physicals. You're going to be fast. You're going to be pretty strong for your like size and position. You're going to be able to jump very high. You're going to be able to finish with the best of them. So as far as takeovers go, you also have a lot. That's one thing I will say you will notice from these build videos. We're usually more well-rounded than specialized in certain categories. And that well-roundedness usually equates to having a lot of takeovers at your heart. What in the world? That overall balance in the builder usually equates to having a lot more takeovers at your arsenal. So what would I personally go with? Probably something like fundamentals. Maybe not. Probably not. Maybe, or maybe, I don't know. You also have a good one like Slice. People really like that one from what I know. To match what I think Elgin Baylor's game is, though, probably something like Lost Art. That'll probably be the takeover I would go with. And we get shades of Elgin Baylor, fantastic, Jimmy Butler, and Jaylen Brown. That's how you know it's a great build, at least trying to match the player. And we've built a wing stopper. Ooh, now that's a very unique name too. That's a very unique name. I'm not sure if I've seen a wing stopper. I've seen a wing stop. I'm so sorry. But yeah, that's basically gonna do it for today's build. Threw on some random stuff here. Another change, I guess I'll put here at the very end of the build is I do think you could also cap breaker driving dunk to be able to get contact dunks eventually. So I mean, other than that, I think that's like the only other change off the top of my head that I can think of. Overall, I like the build personally, and I hope you guys will too. Feel free to use this. And yeah, I guess that's the Elgin Baylor build. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe maybe. I can't force you to do that. And yeah, we're out of here. See ya.